IB and A-level maths and physics students aiming for a top grade, start right here. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact 3-step system you need to smash your exams, only leveraging 30 minutes a day, right? Sound too good to be true? It isn't, right? This is specifically for students who realize that they need to develop the systems, boost their grades, and earn the top grades. It's not going to come to you by just finding the right content or the exact right question for the exam. It's about deserving the grade. This is going to show you how to earn the best grades, okay? Now, who am I? My name is Francisco. I've been tutoring for the last 4 years. I graduated with a mechanical and aerospace engineering background, and I've been tutoring ever since. I started my own company called Lean Learning. We've helped hundreds of students get their best grades. In the last year alone, 95% of our students got into their top university choice. 95%. This system really, really works. And this channel is me just doing that for free. So our mission here is that I want to build a community of students forging elite work ethic through academics. Right? We're just using IB as A-level as the arena to do that. Does that make sense? The way that we develop ourselves, and it's a real outcome of school, is by putting the work in, right? That's exactly what we're using this for, okay? Now, what you're going to get on this channel, our flagship series right now is going to be the Zero to IB Hero. We're going to show you step by step how to learn every single topic, how to practice every single topic. When you go through the questions, we're going to do walk-alongs and solve-alongs through the problems, and if you get stuck, we're going to link you to another video that's going to show you exactly how to do that technique. All right. On top of that, we're going to have 4 past paper walkthroughs. We're going to have 80-20 theory videos where we're going through the most common exam techniques that you need to master, and we'll have generic study tips and guides. Okay. Now, before we get into that 3-step system that we're going to offer you, I just wanted to let you know that in the description below, we have a link that can help you to book a free revision audit with us. In that, we'll give you a free revision care package with over £300 of value in one single place. On top of that, if you're a good fit, then we can see if we can work together with our bootcamp, which will guarantee you results. Otherwise, in the description, you also a link to our Google Docs, which you'll be able to get the free template, which is a predicted grade booster. Send that to your teachers. We'll show you how to do that later, right? And you can really, really boost your predicted grades just by using that template. All right, perfect. I'll take you over to the whiteboard and I'll show you our 3-step system. Great, so here we are to see it. Now, first of all, why do we even need a system? What is the point of having a system rather than just having revision resources? Why do we have to actually spend all this time developing this? I've got a couple of stories to get this point across. There was a university study. I don't remember the university source. Trust me, bro. And they had three control groups, or they had 3 groups. One group was a control, and then you had 2 others. The point was that they wanted to see how they could motivate these different groups to start going to the gym. The control group obviously didn't do anything, right? They just said, go to the gym if you want. The second group, they got some motivational speaker to come in. They had, David Goggins came in and said, you got to carry the boats and the logs and all that kind of stuff. And, that was it. And everyone, they were super pumped before they left, right? And then group 3, they told them, if you want to go to the gym, what are you going to do? Where are you going to do it? Why are you going to do it? And when are you going to do it? Those 4 things had to be written down in that session if they wanted to do it. You can probably get what I'm insinuating here. The group that made it real, that made their system real and actually put that down, were the ones that actually kept to it. The people who left the room after speaking to David Goggins, were proper starstruck. They didn't actually, but after being motivated, they're like, yeah, I'll start sometime. It wasn't spoken into existence yet, right? Hence, there's no condition to pass or fail. Whereas there's people saying that tomorrow I'm going to do this, that, they either did it or they didn't. Notice, it's not bad to pass or to fail, right? They're both just, if you're logging it and reflecting on it, they both just exist, right? But the problem is not putting the effort in and then not realizing you didn't put the effort means that you're never going to realize it and it's too late, all right? So what we're doing is we're developing a system to make sure that you stay accountable to the goals that you said that you wanted to do, okay? And then the second story is like, why do we even need a system? Why don't I just tell you revision routine? Why is it specifically a system that we're looking at? And like, what even is a system, right? A system is a routine or machine that you're building, right? We want to eliminate all of these small decisions that you have to take day by day because it just increases the friction to starting to work, right? It'd be much easier if you could sit down at your desk, I need to do beep, 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 boom, and then you get it done, right? That'd be so much easier. The system is a structured approach to doing that, and it even involves iteration and upgrades over time. Now, my favorite book of all time is a book called The Score Takes Care of Itself by Bill Walsh. I won't get too much into it. It's about a guy my name's Francisco. He ran the San Francisco 49ers. That's not why it's my favorite book, but it's a plus. And there's a classic story of like how he turned the worst team into the best team. But the reason I love it so much was that the score of the match, the score will take care of itself. Don't reflect on the game itself directly, because the game is simply a product of the month of preparation before then. So when you did poorly on a test or didn't get the result that you want, don't look at the test. Don't think, oh, if that question came up, this question came up, because that's irrelevant. Look at the preparation you had in the weeks and the months before that. And that's what we're doing. We're developing a system to make sure that we can iterate and we can earn that level 7, so it's almost inevitable. Okay? All right, now the first stage here is the diagnosis step, right? We need to diagnose your first issue, right? In order to diagnose it, the first thing we're going to do, that I'm going to get you to do, is I'm going to get you to send out our predicted grade booster, which is in the description. You're going to send it out to your teachers, to your supervisors, right? What that's going to include, not only is going to show you intent to get the best grades and get your teacher hopefully on your side, but on top of that, if you have any exams coming up, they're going to inform you with higher accuracy what will come up. So we're much more informed on what we need to prepare for, right? This is really useful if you've ever had that experience of preparing loads for an exam, but it turns out only half the stuff you studied was in the exam. Let's avoid that. That's wasting time. Okay? Then, remember, these are action items, right? This is not just generic, like you can watch this for fun, I guess, right? But no, these are actual action items to show you how to earn your best grades, yeah? So the first thing you got to do now is summarize all the key topics you need to improve at for the next key exam date, right? And by what date? So if you know you have topics A, B, C, D, E, we're not going to be attacking them A, B, C, D, E because alphabet, right? We're going to prioritize them and we're going to spend our most time on the thing that needs the most help and it's going to give you the most results. Does that make sense? Then, when you've built these resources, what we're going to do is we're going to collect exam paper resources for each of these. Just get a bunch of exam questions. Get about 3 to 4 per, right? It depends how many topics you have. If it's 100 topics, then yeah, obviously you have to do less, right? But you get the point. Then with these, you're going to do a timed test on these resources. And you're going to go through it, you're going to mark it and all that kind of stuff. But just do the time test. And at the end of it, we're going to mark the results. And very crucially, we're going to reflect on every question and review your comfort level doing that question. What I'm trying to get you to do here is to gauge which subtopics are the ones which are causing you the most, is losing you the most marks, right? And which ones will be the easiest to then overcome. So now that we have that information, now we go into our last stage, which we prioritize each topic by its difficulty, as well as how important this topic is for your upcoming exam. So for example, if you have 2 different subjects that you wanted to improve at, one of them is very hard, like some really advanced differential equations, and it's difficult for you, but then another one is just binomial, right? You can make progress on binomial much easier than you could on differential equations, right? In that example, or whatever subject you're doing, okay? And also you want to prioritize them, like if the test is on statistics that's coming up, you probably don't need to prioritize calculus. Does that make sense? So you want to make a priority for that next exam. That diagnosis step is crucial because now it's going to empower you for the rest of your revision stages, okay? Great, I'm going to pause and I'm going to get back to the next step. Okay, so now continuing with step 2. At this point, hopefully you've been able to at least understand how we're going to prioritize a list. If you want, you can do that entire process, pause this video, come back to it in how many time you need, or we just continue here, okay? The second step is implementation. We're going to actually start to implement the system. We're going to build the system, right? When we implement it, you just build a version 1, right? This is step 1 of that system. Now we have something that we can build and make progress on. We have something here, right? In order to do this, we're going to define what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and why. So when defining what you're going to do, the higher detail you put into exactly what you're going to do during the revision process is going to make it so much easier, right? Decision fatigue is a real thing, right? If it takes you, if you have to make loads of tiny decisions, which resource am I going to use? I'm going to study with this, I'm going to study that, what place, what location, whatever. If you get rid of this stuff, then you can just put the key decisions you need to make in terms of solving questions and making exam strategic approaches. Does that make sense? So we want to define exactly what needs to be done. Really, the better you do this is by putting all the resources in a single location so you can just find it immediately. Like having a bookmark, for example, with all my teaching resources so I know exactly where to find what I need to do. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to go into your calendar and you're going to book exactly week by week, day by day, when you're going to do the sessions, right? I don't want any uncertainty here. You have to think logically through this, right? This is a decision that you're using today to then power you for the next weeks, okay? So think about it. Do I have 3 periods that I can leverage or utilize? Do I have when I get home, when's the best time for me to study? Just choose one and we can make it better, right? Ideally, use time that you're not currently using, right? And that it still enables you to have your relaxation time at the end. So for example, if you have a free period, right, that'd be a very good time to leverage because then you're on your own, you're in school, you're already in the study mindset. Just now you have the systems that you need to use to apply it, okay? Next thing, where. Say where you're going to do it. I know it sounds really simple, but make it like obvious what needs to be done, so you just have to be there. And more specifically about where you're going to do it, design your environment in such a way that empowers you, right? I've got fancy little LED lights because I'm, some pro streamer apparently. I've got a little divider to help me to focus when I want to record or when I want to go through sessions with people, right? Make your environment intentional and design it, and you're going to iterate this over time. And the last thing is understand why you're doing this, right? You already, like the basic answer, of course you want good grades, right? Of course you want to get these results, but let's think more deeply about it. What is the result of your good grades? Where do you want to go? What university do you want to go to? What would the lifestyle be like at that university? What subject do you want to go to? How would your parents feel if you turn this around? How would you feel if you turn this around? Think of the positive pulls towards your goal, and also think of the negatives. What happens if you don't do this? What happens if you don't do the effort? What happens if you fail at this point and you fail IB, or you don't get the grades that you want? What's the reality of your life there, right? Now, it's not about, becoming depressed looking at that. It's about understanding there's a push and a pull. It's just seeing what you really want. And the thing is, when we really know what we want to do, it's easy to do the things that we want to do. It's just oftentimes our mind's distracted with other crap. Okay? All right? And the key essence of this is that we do not rely on sparks of motivation. Motivation's crap. It's fleeting. It comes up and it comes down. If you rely on that, your entire work ethic is going to be cyclical. There's no point to it, right? What we want to do is we want to do all the annoying and logistics and all the thinking in one go, and then you just execute. Discipline trumps motivation any day of the week, right? As Jocko Willink would say, discipline is freedom. If you're disciplined, you can do whatever you want. What is more free than doing whatever you want, right? And the last thing is, don't focus too much on building the perfect situation or the perfect system. This will iterate. Build one. It shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to do this all. Put all the resources in place, right? Build it once, and then you're going to iterate it, and you're going to see how we do that in step 3, okay? Right, and this is going to get better. It's going to get easier. It takes 2 weeks to build a habit. So if you can focus consistently for 2 weeks, then it's going to become your new standard, and then you're going to start really earning your grades. All right, let's move over to the last stage. By the way, we're also going to have a Google Docs going through this, so you can actually write it up in our template so you can get everything done there. That's going to be in the description too. Great, now the final step here is going to be, drum roll please, execute, log, and iterate, right? That sounds like fun. Right, so we've developed the system, now we've got to execute it, now you've got to show up, okay? Now, when we're trying to do the work, right, the number one thing, surprisingly enough, is you need to show up. You need to do the work, right? You need to actually make sure you're doing the effort and putting the energy in, right? Volume negates luck. Luck is for people who do a little bit of practice and hope that their content comes up in the exam. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing so much content that it's inevitable that the content we've covered will come up in the exam, right? You show up every single time and you never ever miss 2 days in a row, right? One day you will miss a day. Never ever miss 2 days in a row. And all these systems, all these standards that you place are completely personal. So the only person who can hold you to them is you, right? So stick to it. Every single week, you're then going to do a weekend audit. You can choose your time. Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, whenever you want, right? And then you choose your time to do that audit. This audit, what audit is, you're just reviewing and you're seeing how it went. You're going to review your previous week and you can look at the effort and you see what you did good and we did bad. Some days you will fail. Some days you'll do bad. It's fine. Hold yourself accountable to it and then iterate and make changes to it. If you realize at a certain time you are too tired, make changes to your overall system to enable you, right? If you're going to bed at 4 a.m. every single day, getting up at 7 to go to school, there's a problem there. How can we make it easier for you to go to bed? Right? We need to make actual practical solutions and answers to these questions, yeah? Don't blame yourself for struggling, but provide real, logistical improvements to it. A great quote is, treat yourself like you're somebody you're responsible for. Treat yourself like you're somebody you're responsible for. If you're responsible for a sibling and then you're trying to help them to study, right? If they were really tired one day, hopefully you're not just going to be like, you're just so bad, you need to go to bed early. No, you're going to tell them, okay, make sure that we go to bed early next time. How can we help you to do that? Okay, let's make sure we eat dinner first or whatever. You build a proactive system that helps them to do that. Okay? And then the last thing we got here is that we need to iterate, upgrade the system and test. What I mean by that is, over the weeks, this is like the cream on top, the cherry on top, right? Over the weeks, the system is going to get really chiseled down and really lean and bespoke to you and your systems and what you prefer to do, right? And the way that we do that is that we upgrade it over time. Literally by doing the thing that we said. If you're too tired, make sure you go to bed at a different time. Maybe you prefer to have this certain time free so you can watch this show live or whatever. We upgrade the system to enable it to be more consistent for you. Make sense? On top of it, you're going to find certain things that you can be doing better. For example, maybe in the first 2 weeks you realize you know, one reason that I wasn't so effective in my studying was because I didn't build out my resources well enough. So I'm going to make sure every Saturday or every Sunday I'm going to build out the resources for my next week. Or maybe in my diagnosis step I need to do this or that or whatever. You build the system out and you put it in a single place. Okay? Alright, there we go. So that's our 3-stage process to building a system that is not only going to show you what you need to focus on, it's not going to only help you to actually put the energy and effort in, it's also going to allow you to execute, log, and iterate to make a system that will improve with you over time. And remember, the main point of all of this is that we want to turn you into the student who deserves the top grades. Tell me, a student who's putting all this energy in the background, right? They're putting consistent 30 to 40 minutes a day in the subjects. They make it look easy. They deserve top grades. They really do. And of course, if you're closer to your exams, you're going to have to put more than 30 minutes, but you get the point. Okay, great. Let's go back to the other cam. Great, so at this point, you know exactly how to build this system. Go and do it, get that done. It shouldn't take you more than a day or so to get all that resources, do that little test and stuff like that, and get a good prioritized system working, right? Remember, these are actionable steps. We're not just generalizing here. I actually want to see real, actual progress here, okay? Now that you've done that, how do we continue? What's the next step? Now you're going to come back to this channel and you're going to use our 0 to IB Hero Sprint to start working through the content, right? So if you're doing Maths AAHL or Maths AASL, that's already be going through at this point right now as of September 2025. In the future, we'll be doing physics. In the future, we'll be doing A-levels and all that kind of stuff, okay? Remember, you can shoot me a message on the comments and I might be able to make a bespoke video for something that you need, okay? Great. Last thing. Remember to check down in the description below. Grab the free the template to build the entire thing that I've just stated there. The whole system. On top of that, get your free predicted grade booster pack, and also if you click and you book in, I'll give you the revision pack with templates, and we can have that meeting and see if you are a good fit for us. Of course, last thing, don't forget subscribe so you can keep up to date with more content I guess added out. All right then. Okay, well, welcome to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye.